It's Breyonna, and today we're gonna be testing out the brand new Colourpop High School Musical collaboration, which, oh my gosh, like this is like one of those things of my childhood, like I was obsessed with. Like the amount of times I have seen High School Musical is almost like embarrassing. Like I wasn't the type that would sing along, but like in my head I was always singing the lyrics with everybody. But oh, like this palette though is so pretty. I will warn you though, it is mostly shimmer rather than matte. But the shimmers in here just look super sparkly, especially like this green one right here. So with this collection, there are a couple of other items. So we have 3 pressed powder blushes, which again is one of my favorite products from Colourpop. Like I cannot get enough of these. We also have 3 of the Just a Tint lip crayons. And again, I will be doing swatches later on in this video. And then the last item that we have are the Creme Gel Liner pencils. But before we jump into it though, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on Instagram or TikTok, it's at Breyonna as well. So I just primed my eyes using my ABH eye primer, but like normal, we're gonna do 2 different eye looks because I want to use as many shades in this palette as possible, and I have 2 really cool ideas. But we're first gonna go in with Taylor, which is this deepened kind of like eggplant kind of shade, or like, I guess it's more of a plum. But I'm gonna be taking it in my crease using this brush I have from Morphe. It's an M433. So right off the bat, this shade doesn't look like it does in the pan. So let's do a second layer. Yeah, like it's actually building up really nice, and I'm also getting a really fast blend with it. Keep in mind, like this is one of the deepest shades in this palette, and I don't have any like transition shade underneath. It's definitely kind of like a neutrally, kind of like plummy kind of shade. Like it's definitely like a purple, but it also has like a little bit of brown to it. I'm also gonna pack just a little bit of this onto the outer V, just so we kind of have something to blend those shimmers into. So on the other eye, I'm gonna go in with Detention, which is the deepest brown in the palette. Now to me, this shade is more pigmented than the Taylor shade that we just used. Like this looks true to color right away. Now I'm just gonna do a second layer, but with this shade, I feel like a little goes a long way, but at the same time, it's easy to blend. Especially for being like a darker brown. Because sometimes I feel like darker browns, they can almost like over blend and they can get kind of like chunky looking on the edges. But this one looks really smooth, you can see. Normally I don't go in with this deep of a shade right away, but I was just really curious because with the purple side, there wasn't like a purpley like transition shade, and I really wanted to keep like that purple kind of vibe. So that's kind of why we're doing the same thing on this eye, just to match the vibe. So off camera, I just cut my crease like I normally do, you know, just to give a little bit of room for some of the shimmers in here. Honestly, I want to use a lot of the shimmers, they're so pretty. Like I've been having a hard time like figuring out like which ones I want to use because like they're all like really sparkly. But the first one we're gonna go in with is Sharpay. I mean, like, could we really use this palette without using Sharpay? Like, I don't know if that would even be possible. Like, she's just too iconic. But, I mean, oh, it's definitely like a Barbie pink. Now, I do need like a little bit more on my brush because, I don't know, it just feels like it's really sticking to my eye primer. Like, it just seems like after I pop it down, it's just like really grabbing on. Which I like because that means that you're not going to have as much fallout. So I'm going to do a little bit more. Yeah, like this is definitely more of like a wearable kind of shimmer. Like don't get me wrong, like it's cute. You can see like it does have some sheen to it. It's just not as sparkly as I was expecting. So I got a kitty cat on my lap. She's needy today. Like she just has to sit on my lap, so if you hear anything kind of like move around, it's Winnie. But you can see, like it's actually a really pretty shimmer. Yeah, she's grabbing my brushes. But I am gonna go in with it dampened, you know, just so we can kind of see. Yeah, like this is one of those shimmers you really have to apply dampened if you want it to be like crazy sparkly. Like that is like a night and day difference. Ooh, the Student Body shade in the pan is like really creamy. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it almost feels like a Super Shock shadow if you've ever used those before. But I'm going to pop this in the inner part of the eye. I probably should have used a little bit bigger of a brush. But it's kind of like a yellowy white gold. Like I wouldn't say it's like a true like yellow gold, nor is it like a true gold. It's kind of like right in the middle. And then I'm also kind of like finessing it into Sharpay, just so we have a really pretty gradient. But I will say like off the bat, this one is a lot more sparkly. Yeah, like in the pan, it definitely has like that creamy, like cream to powder kind of feel. Maybe was I not paying attention? Is this actually a Super Shock shadow? This is pressed powder palette though. I feel like it is a Super Shock shadow and I just did not read first. Oh yeah. This shade is stunning. Ooh, I really like this one. And like this shade doesn't have any fallout. I feel like it'd make a really good highlighter too. Now for the other eye, I'm gonna go in with Troy. Ooh, this is kind of like a sky blue, almost. I'm just gonna go in with a little bit more. Just like that Sharpay shade, it just feels like it's really like adhering to my eye primer. And this one is like a normal eyeshadow. It's not like the Super Shock formula. Yeah, like, again, this one isn't like crazy sparkly. I would say it's more sparkly than Sharpay was initially. But it's definitely not like a crazy, like glittery, sparkly kind of shimmer. Now I want to try with my finger. Oh yeah, that is like a huge difference. So I would definitely recommend either like using these shimmers with your finger or applying them wet if you want like that really crazy like wow factor. If you want something more subtle, I would just apply it straight out of the pan. And then for the other part, I'm just going to apply Ryan. This is kind of like a green, yellowy kind of shade. And this one again is also a normal eyeshadow kind of formula. Yeah, like these shimmers you really do have to use your finger with. If you're like me and you like those like really extra shimmers. But I really like this green and blue together. They go really well together. So for the inner corner highlight, I'm going to go in with this like icy shade called Twinkle Town. And I'm going to be using the same shade on both eyes, you know, just to try to make things a little bit cohesive. Or I guess more cohesive, even though we have two eye looks going on. You know, just to kind of like tie them both together. But I'm taking it on this brush I have from Anastasia. It's just their little pencil brush. And this one's an A14. Yeah, like right off the bat, like it's not like crazy sparkly. Like it has a little bit to it, but it's not like super like in your face. Oh yeah, the second layer is a lot better. You can see. But I'd say that this is kind of like a champagne kind of shade. It's definitely not like a true like icy white. I almost did lower lash mascara out of habit, but we're gonna use the creme gel liners out of this set. Now I believe only 2 of these are like collection exclusive, and then Exit is a permanent like white that they have in the normal line. I actually really like Exit, I use it all the time. But let's do some swatches. Like seriously, if you want a really good white pencil eyeliner that is like completely matte and does not budge, I cannot recommend this one enough. It is so good. I have gone through so many of these over the years. Like it is by far like my favorite white pencil I have ever used. And now we have this like gold, and this one is called In This Together. I'm not sure if this one's shimmery or not. Yeah, this one is a metallic. Kind of reminds me of like a musical instrument, like that kind of yellow. I don't know why I keep on saying it's yellow. It's definitely more of like a true gold kind of shade. And then the last one we have is the red, and this one is called Spring Musical. Now for a red though, in person, this one does have a little bit more of like a pinky vibe to it. I wouldn't say that it is a primary red. So with the finishes, the gold and the red are both metallic, and then Exit is matte. Unfortunately, I have an allergy to the metallic formula, but you see what I mean? Like, it is like the best of the best for a white eyeliner. Like you literally just pop it down, it does not transfer, it doesn't get everywhere. You don't have to tug at your eyes, and it is also like the perfect amount of creamy too. Like it's not like so creamy you're gonna burn through the pencil like right away, and it's also not like dry. Now I'm just gonna warn you, it is storming out really bad right now, so if you hear any like weather things, like that is why. Like I don't know why, but every time I film there's always something going on. But now we have the pressed powder blushes, and we're gonna do some swatches. I think I already know which one I want to go in with, but this first one is Freaky Genius Girl, and this is a more like pinky one. Again, I feel like the packaging of this collection is like top tier. Ooh, this is like one of those like really trendy kind of pinks. The next one we have is Wildcats, and this is the more like nudie neutral. Ooh. You know, this is kind of like one of those shades I wear like almost every single day because it just kind of goes with everything. And the last one is the one though that I'm like the most excited for. I don't know if it would work with what we have going on though. And this one is Playoffs. And it's kind of like a reddish kind of shade. And again, all of these are like completely matte. There's absolutely no shimmer in them whatsoever. Yeah, it's kind of like this red. It's not like a bright red. It's kind of like a red that has like a little bit of brown to it. You know what? We're just gonna go in with the red one. I mean, why not? And I'm also gonna warn you, Winnie's crying, so if you hear her crying, it's just like the weather, and she is just, yeah. Like, if you have animals, you know, like, when weather's bad, like, they just act up. I'm taking it on this brush I have from Morphe. It's kind of like a corally, like, reddish kind of shade. It's definitely not like a true, like, bright red. Reminds me a lot of, like, those trendy reddish blushes right now. Like, right off the bat, too, it's not, like, crazy pigmented. Like, if you've tried the Hello Kitty collection red blush that they launched a while back, it's not as pigmented as that one. It's definitely like a light to medium pigmentation. And then the last item that we have are the Just a Tint lip crayons, and I actually really like this formula. And the first one we have, though, is a more nudie one. I feel like we're gonna have to go in with this just because the eyes are just so much. And this one is the shade Status Quo. And I really like the scent of these because it's kind of like a sweet tart, but it's not like crazy tart either. Oh yeah, like this is like an everyday kind of shade. If you've ever used like a tinted lip balm, it's kind of that kind of vibe, but it has a little bit more pigmentation to it than that. And they also kind of have like this hydrated kind of finish. They're definitely not like crazy glossy either. And then the next one we have is the Hot Pink. And this one's called Pop and Lock. And again, they are retractable too, which is really nice. Woo, that is bright. You see what I mean though? Like, they have a good amount of pigmentation for being like a tinted kind of vibe. And then the last one we have is the reddish pink, and this one's called Cello. Oh, this is like the same color as the blush. Wow, that's really pretty. Again, it's not like a bright red. It has like a little bit of like an orangey neutral kind of look to it. Since we do have a lot going on with the eyes and we did the red blush, I'm just gonna go in with the more neutral one. But you can kind of see it. Like, it just has like this nice hydrated kind of finish to it. On the lips though, they're very hydrating, but they're not like really thick either. They kind of feel like a normal lip balm, but a little bit more hydrating. Like if you took a lip balm and a lip mask and had a baby, that's what this would feel like. Okay, you gotta tell me which side is your favorite, because at first I thought I was gonna like the pink side more, because I mean, like, more color the better, but there's something so eye-catching about the brown, the blue, and the green together. Like, my eye just keeps on going to this side. But I gotta say, like, overall to me, this collection just kind of screams back to school. You know, it's like kind of like sweet, everyday kind of vibes, but also you got like a little glam with some of the items, and you can do like a little pop of color when he's playing with the eyeliners. But I will say, like, nothing is like crazy like out of the norm for this collection, and like also like the packaging really fits the vibe too. Like if you like High School Musical, you're gonna fall in love with the packaging. I would say if you're gonna get anything, I don't know. I would probably say the eyeshadow palette, because I feel like the packaging of this is like the most iconic and the most like, you know, High School Musical out of everything. But if I had to say my favorite item, like, I really like this blush shade on me, and I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I do, but I will say also with that, it's not like crazy pigmented. It's almost like light to medium pigmentation. So I don't know, like between these two, I would say go with the eyeshadow palette if you want cute packaging and you want something like really like themed. But I'd say my favorite item is probably the blush. But yeah, so in the comments down below, let me know what you think about this look, and also let me know if you're gonna be picking up anything from this collection or like what you think about it. I would love to hear what you think as well. But before you go though, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on Instagram or TikTok, it's at Breyonna as well. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!